do to talk you out of doing that. But let's consider, at the very least, supplementing what it is that you're trying to accomplish to make a lot of money at trading. Let's supplement that with a very simple trade. Okay? So I'm not going to ask you to stop doing what you're doing, but I want you to consider that there might be other ways to trade, other things you can do to make money at trading, okay? And consistent money at trading. Now, got some ground rules here. As is with all of our events, I'm not going to read the chat. Praveen is here, along with many of our other traders that trade with us every day in our trade room, that have been trading, bunt trading for a while. Number of people here to help you with questions. If you have questions, feel free to ask questions in the chat. Just understand, I'm not going to answer them because I won't see them. I'm going to cover them up, and I'll allow Praveen and everybody else to answer your questions for you. Now, if you have something specifically you want to ask me, please don't just wait until the end, okay? I'm going to give you plenty of time at the end to answer questions that you want to direct to me. Most questions Praveen can answer. He's been with me since, boy, I don't know, 7 years now, Praveen? So he pretty much knows the answers to all the questions anyway. But if you have something specific, 8 years, something specifically for me, just wait until the end and I'll take a few questions, okay? All right. So that being said, please understand I'm covering up the chat. I won't see any chat, and we'll press on. All right. So as I mentioned, many of you have been trying to trade and maybe trading a trading system where you feel like that you want to make a lot of money on each trade, and that you feel like it's important, if you're going to make a living at trading, that each trade has to have a lot of potential behind it. This is where I started trading. This is what I started trying to do. This is what I was being taught was very important, and that was that I had to be a trend trader, and that I had to trade for 20 to 50 ticks per trade, okay? Problem that I found with that is that this trend trading thing can be such an emotional roller coaster. So say you enter a trade somewhere over here, and you feel like, okay, boy, I hope this works out. How many of you are still trading? I'm not reading the chat, so feel free to answer among yourselves. How many of you are still trading, and every time you put on a trade, you're hopeful? You're that hope. You sit there hoping that things go in your favor, okay? So that's very, very common, although you'll see later that it's very unnecessary, and it's a waste of time, because hope doesn't really, I'm not sure where on your trade plan you factor in hope. So we'll teach you that on Saturday. We'll talk about that more on Saturday. And I'll show you we have another event on Saturday, and I'll show you that in a minute. So this trading thing, you jump in, this trend trading thing, you jump in and you get hopeful, right? And somewhere along the line, if things aren't going quite in your way, you get maybe a little bit angry and start to think that the markets are against us, and you just can't believe that every time you get in a trade, it does the opposite of what you think it's going to do. And then maybe some point you're getting kind of excited, but a little bit nervous, because maybe it's starting to go in your favor a little bit, or at least not as far out of your favor. And then at some point, then you're like elated. Hey, this is easy. I got this. I figured it out. And not only did I figure it out, I'm ahead of the game, and I followed the rules. I stayed in even though things were going against me, and look at me. And then what happens? Oh my God. Oh no, the bottom. Oh, I should have gotten out when I was ahead. Oh no. What do I do now? Do I stay with it? Do I get out before I lose even more? I know the rules say I should just ride with it, but I just lost a lot of money. Oh, okay, that's it. I'm out. I can't lose anymore. I can't take this. The stress on my heart, it's just killing me. All right? This was my experience, and in my experience, this has been an awful lot of people's experience with trading. Okay? So many emotions that you have to manage to get through to potentially get to that target that you're shooting for. Okay? Here's something that nobody ever told me when I was trying to figure this trading thing out. It's nearly impossible for single contract or small lot traders to ride through the emotional roller coaster like this. And I know this because statistically, you will not succeed in overcoming your emotion. Why do I say that? Because most people that start learning how to trade, that begin trading, end up quitting before they ever made any money, and probably lost a lot of money. Most people. I know the metrics that you hear the most often is 85 to 95% of the people will always lose money. And I don't have anything to back that up other than it's hearsay. But I kind of believe it because from doing it as long as I have and talking to as many traders as I have. And the problem is that we're human. We're human, and humans don't trade very well because of this emotional thing. Now, what happens after you decide to walk away with a loss? What happens? What always happens? You, if you'd have stayed in, it'd have gone to Target and you'd have won all this money and you'd have been just elated. But of course that didn't happen. You took a loss because of the emotional roller coaster, right? It always happens, and you think it's only you. You think it's only happening to you. Here's the thing about trend trading. There's one constant of all trends, only one. And that constant is that they are not constant. Trends are up and down and all over the place. Conventional wisdom, the pre-computer internet trading, for some reason is still hanging on. And that is the trend is your friend. If you stay in the trend, you're more likely to win your trade. So, okay, that's the conventional wisdom. But for me, it's really a good thing that most people are still trying to trade that way. But, as soon as you start believing the trend is your friend and you stay in the trend, what happens? The trend is your friend until it ends, right? And then it's going the other way. So I decided, rather than trying to manage my emotions and get through this trend, what if I just start looking for high probability trade setups that are within a trend? And rather than trying to find one trade where I can get 20, 30, 50 ticks, what if I just look for multiple turning points that have a high probability of turning at that point and trade multiple times for those 20, 30, 50 ticks? So I started thinking about that because I was so bad at managing my emotions. Question to myself was, how much do I really need? If I became a master at something, If I became the best in the world at something very small, how much do I need? So I started thinking about this. I started thinking, I can sit and watch the markets, and I'm pretty sure I can figure out how to win one tick. I'm pretty sure I can do it regularly and consistently and win that one tick every day. Now, nobody wants to just trade for one tick, right? You don't want to do it because what's that? There's no money. By the time you pay the fees, the brokerage fees and commissions and all that, there's no money. But what if, I mean, there's a little bit, but not much. But what if I was guaranteed 1 to 2 ticks a day? That's it. That's all. Guaranteed. Now, there's no guarantees, but this is an exercise, right? This is something to help me start thinking a little bit different. What would be the income limiting factors if I only traded for 1 or 2 ticks a day? Period. That's it. Done. What would be my income limiting factors? Size of my trading account, maybe, or how many days I could trade. That's pretty much it. What the type of fills I could get. That's pretty much it. So I started with that premise. I started thinking, okay, well let's extrapolate that out a little bit, and let's just say I'm trading for 1 tick and I trade 10 lots, and after I pay the fees, I'm about 160 bucks. Or what if I increase that to 2 ticks or 3 ticks? Okay, so you kind of see where I'm going with this. What I'm talking about here is trying to do something very small and very simple and do it over and over and over again. All right. So I started wondering, why am I trying so hard to trade so many ticks with a single contract? Why don't I get really good at nailing down a few ticks with a single contract, keep doing the same thing, add more contracts? So let's use an analogy to help you with this. All right. So, and we're gonna talk about this mastering a simple trade, and I'm going to address 2 different sets of people here. A lot of you guys are going to want to know that know the ins and outs of the markets, that study different types of trade setups and market conditions and market analysis, and are trying to figure out what all the quants and the HFTs are doing, and that want to know every single piece of data that goes into creating the markets. There are those types of people, okay? And there are those types of people that use this information to know how a car works. So they feel like to successfully operate a car, they need to know the inner workings of an internal combustion engine or a transmission or, whatever. They need to know everything there is to know about the mechanics of a car before they buy that car. Okay, so that's very important to them. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you need all of that to successfully operate a car? Probably not. Yet it's important to a lot of people. There are other people that believe a car key and gasoline are the only things you need to successfully operate a car. All right, these people only need to know how it works. Gasoline, car keys, that's how it works. That's my wife. She does not need to know all of the math that it takes to make a car work. You know, to my wife, it might as well be rocket science. It doesn't really matter to her how it works, just that it works. You know, we've got we've got this group of people, and to some degree, I'm like this for a lot of things. When I see that something works and it works well, I go, huh, I wonder why that worked. Or it won't work, I go, I wonder why it doesn't work. All right, so we have that group of people. And I'm going to address all of you in this very simple trade setup. Okay? We've got those people that want to know why, that don't want to know the why, that just how it works. Okay? Just give me the keys and let me go. And then there's those people say, oh, well, I can't be sure if it works if I don't know all the parts and pieces about it. And I'm going to talk to you guys too, okay? Just so everybody understands. So what's the characteristics of bunt trading? All right. Really simple. Small targets, small stops. Okay? We're in and out of the markets very quickly. We're anticipating these small pieces that we're going to get on each trade are going to ultimately add up to kind of some big chunks. Okay? But we're going to do it in small pieces. Short market exposure time. This is more important today than ever. Why? Well, I'm going to go into that in a little while. The market makers, the big money, is out there laying in wait to take your money. And not just the market makers. There are other good traders out there waiting to take your money. All you have to do is stay in the market long enough, and they're eventually going to get it. The shorter time you're in the market, the less speculative the trade becomes. So we're in and out very quickly. Because of that, trading becomes as very relaxed. It's less stressful. You're in and out and done. Whether you won or lost, you're done, and you're very comfortably and relaxed waiting for the next trade setup. The last trade's done, and now you're out of the markets and your money's not at risk, and you're waiting for the next high probability trade setup. Okay? Our indicators are what we call heads-up display indicators. I'm going to show you several of them, including the new Rockstar. There is so much going on. I could fill a chart and make it so complex that it would take you a long time to figure out what's going on with all of the stuff that's going on in our heads-up display indicators. However, what I've done is removed all of the information you don't need and only put in the information that you do need to make an informed trade decision. All right? Now, because we're operating on very short market exposure times, we're going to work on a very fast chart. Now, a lot of people don't like to use time charts because they say they want to remove the noise, so they start using Rinkos, or tick charts are fine. Tick charts are kind of like time charts, so they're tick and time. You can use either one, but when you start removing time, you stop trading like a trader. Okay, you say I'm removing noise. That noise is some of the most valuable information that the chart is putting out. Okay, we don't need multiple time frames. It doesn't help us. We're operating in such a fast time frame that we can be in and out of a trade in seconds. Multiple time frames are not going to help us. So if I'm trading 6 instruments, I've got 6 charts. That's what we do in the trade room. The setups are very concise. They're not vague. Let me show you. We're looking at what we call confluence, and that's a bunch of different sources of data that all come together at the same time and suggest the same thing. This is very important. All right. So I've got a trade set up here, and you can see that here. Right here, this confluence of information suggests that price is going to do this exact thing. Now, those of you that are bunt traders will attest to the fact that this happens all the time. I mean, not all the time as far as, every few minutes, but this is exactly the pattern that we're looking for. And I'm going to give you a URL in a little while to go look at our trades of the day, and you'll see this over and over and over again. You see it in our trade room. I'm not teaching you something here that you wouldn't see us trade. This is exactly what we see all the time. Now, what are we seeing here? This is our Rockstar trade setup. It's called the Rockstar, and we have a new indicator called a Rockstar that takes a lot of this information and puts it into one indicator. Okay, so let me show you what's in this indicator. This is our speed tick, this little arrow to the right. This is an order flow analysis indicator. This is telling us what the big boys are doing right now. This is our volume spread analysis. This is telling us what's going on as it relates to the type of volume coming in. And when we have a particular type of volume, I don't want to read just volume. I want to read a particular type of volume. And that type of volume is when the buyers and sellers are actively fighting each other at a particular price point. Okay? So when the buyers and sellers identify the same price point and they start fighting each other, this is extremely important information. We have a divergent condition, which tells us that even though price is continuing to move one way in a trend, momentum has already changed directions. All right? We have strong momentum with a strong 2 or 3 bar push, and we have a lot of velocity, which means there's a lot of price changing going on inside that bar with a strong potential for exhaustion. Okay? We're factoring all of these in at once to create a trade setup. And for this particular trade, our trade is at the open of this green bar here. At the open of the bar. All of this stuff prints real time. This printed at the open of this bar. This used to be called a speed flash setup. Now it's called a Rockstar setup. Why? Because we've taken a lot of that information and we've put it into a single indicator that tells us right here, right now, there's a really high probability that price is going to stop and turn. Now, just so you know, do I trade every time I see a Rockstar? No, I don't. And I'll tell you why on Saturday. I'll tell you exactly when I'll take this Rockstar and when I won't and why I won't, okay? Now, this is a processed order flow suggests price is currently being manipulated. That's in here. Being manipulated by the big boys. Price exhaustion is setting in due to an oversold condition. That's inside this indicator. Although price continues to drop this way, momentum has begun to go the other direction, this way. That is inside this indicator. This indicator, most people will take 10 different sources of data, 10 different indicators, 3 different time frames to get what we're getting right here. Okay? We've done an awful lot of work to make something that most people make very complicated to make it a very simple trade setup. We're looking for simplicity These indicators are real time. Now, you may have read in forums and you read other places, all indicators are lagging. I believed that for I don't know how many years until I managed to create indicators that were absolutely not lagging. They're real time, and when the tick comes in that changes the current conditions, that creates a new condition, then we print an indicator on the chart. Okay? Here's something I want you to look at. Here it is, 2018. I'm talking to you in 2018 about this particular trade setup, about these indicators. I want you to look at the chart, the date on this chart. This is really important. For 7 years exactly, well, you know, give or take a little bit, we're doing the same thing. Why all this time? Do you think we'd be able to do the same thing all this time? The exact same thing that we were doing back in 2012 if it didn't work exactly like it's supposed to. And here's the interesting thing. It's gotten better because we were so far ahead of the game. Our indicators are actually picking them up better than what we did even back then. This gives us very precise entry information. Now we've taken all of this very precise entry information, and now you're going to get one of these called the Rockstar. All right? A Rockstar indicator that gives us the Rockstar trade setup. Very straightforward, very simple. Now, let me go back here a little bit. You guys see a lot of indicators on this chart, right? You see the arrows and the lightning bolts and the pink bars, and all right, so there's a lot of indicators on this chart, and you go, oh, that's too much stuff. You know, that makes me nervous. I'm afraid I won't be able to figure it all out. So most of us know what this is. Do you know what you're looking at? You're looking at indicators. And you're looking at indicators that help you make decisions. If you can do this, if you can get in this car and look at those indicators and make life-dependent decisions with those indicators, then you can use ours. Because ours are doing the same thing. We're simply giving you conditions that exist at the current time from which to make trade decisions. All right. Rockstar setup. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like in our trade room all the time. You have strong momentum. That's these darker bars, right? Notice we have red, green, red, green, red, green. And then suddenly we have a strong push. We have strong momentum. We have a speed tick here. The speed tick is telling us that the orders that are being processed through the market right now are being processed faster than is likely that retail traders can trade those trades. Okay? So this is telling us because those orders are coming in so fast, this is very likely this bar is being manipulated by the big boys, the market makers. Okay? The Rockstar here tells us all the other information that we need to enter a trade right here. All that stuff that I told you about before on the previous slide. Point of entry is right here. Put on a buy order at the open of this bar. If it backed up a little bit, you may have gotten a better fill. Same thing here. Price drops, speed tick, Rockstar, bar opens, bam, up it goes. Big push, black bars. Now the bars are getting lighter. The lighter they get, the higher the probability of a pullback. Okay? Price is getting exhausted. hits a major line of resistance that price doesn't have enough momentum to get through. Bar opens, we have a rock star, suggesting that we have divergence, an overbought condition, weakness in the markets. Put on our order here, bam. Our small little piece. Remember I told you that we're looking for, instead of trying to trade this trend here and suffer through all of this, here's the uptrend. We don't want to suffer through all of this. We want to profit through all of this. All right? All we're looking for is this little piece right here, this little piece, and get good at this and do it over and over and over again. And when you become an expert at it, you add a contract. You start seeing your account grow little by little. All right, here's another rock star. Happens all the time. The information we're getting is yes or no. How many times have you sat and looked at a trade setup and you look at it and you go, I don't know, I've got 4 indicators that are saying yes, 3 indicators that are saying no. I'm kind of bored. I'm not sure. I kind of like to be in a trade. Okay, I'm going to take it. Okay? Lots of shades of gray. We don't do that. It's yes or no. On the open of the next bar, do these conditions exist? Yes, take the trade. No, don't take the trade. Very simple, very straightforward. All right, for all you how people, we're going to have an event this Saturday. You just want to know how, right? You want the car keys and the gasoline. This Saturday at 11. Come go register. In fact, if you're here now, you're already registered for Saturday. If you're watching this on video and you didn't register, here's the link where you can go to register. And this little chart here, see this funny looking little chart, right? This is actually a draw package that I use to create scenarios to go through the different steps of potential trade setups and why one might be a good setup and one's not a good setup. So I can move these bars around. I can create different scenarios to teach you and show you what works and why it works and what we're looking for and when to pull the trigger and when not to pull the trigger. And we're going to do that this Saturday at 11, okay? I have a few things to talk about, and then we'll get into, basically it's a training session, okay? But let's look at this idea of confluence. When we have confluence, we have several different points of data that are suggesting something. And from that something, we're going to make a decision. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with confluence, let me show you another way that you use it on a regular basis. So here you are, you've been in the house all day and you check with Google and you say, what's the temperature outside? And temperature 62 degrees. And you're like thinking, well, it's 62 degrees. Do I need to put a coat on? The thermometer doesn't tell you to put a coat on. Just like indicators don't tell you what to do. Indicators indicate when certain conditions exist. So 62 degrees is a condition, a single condition. But is it everything that you need to know? If you had more information, could you make a better decision on whether to put a coat on or not? What if you check the wind speed? What if you check clouds? What if you checked rain or whatever? If you start collecting more and more and more information about the conditions outside, in the market, same thing, then you have more and more and better information to make a decision. If you know it's 62 degrees outside, but it's 30-mile-an-hour winds and it's raining, you're probably going to want a really good coat. If it's 62 degrees outside and sunny and no wind, you're probably good to go out in a t-shirt. Okay? So the right kind of information at the right time is what you need to make a good decision. This is exactly what we do. All right, and if you want to see this, here's the URL I was talking to you about. Go watch our Trade of the Day videos. We've been doing these same trades since, well, that slide said 2012. Same thing. Everything that I've talked to you about today is in these Trade of the videos. Well, the Rockstar is new. So the Rockstar, you'll see a few of those. Mostly they're going to be what's called Speed Flash or Speed Mac, which turned into the Rockstar trade setup. Excuse me. Just so you guys know, we've got a special for you guys. And you can go to this. It's been on every slide. You'll notice that we have a special on every slide. Go to that page and you'll see that well, that says everything. That means it should have said all bundles. And this is for the first 10 purchasers only, okay? So go to that, go to this page if you're ready to get going with us, and get 20% off. That's going to start next week. All right, why? Okay, why does it work? Okay, so let's just assume that it works. Why does it work? Okay, here's the thing the very first thing that we're doing. We're making the assumption that big money has us in their crosshairs, us retail traders. If you have never been whipped out of a trade, then you're really lucky. If you have been whipped out of a trade, that means everything's looking good, everything goes, it looks like it's going in your favor, and all of a sudden, whammo, the trade went against you and you've been taken out. And it probably went right to your stop and took you out and then went on to be a winner. And you go, oh, well, they're stop hunters. They know where I am and they took my stops out. Okay? Well, truth be told, they knew where you were going to get in and where they were going to take your money to begin with. Big money has all of the power. And they know exactly what we're going to do because they create the scenario for us to do it. They create these market manipulations because they want to create these typical reaction from us retail traders. And the beautiful thing for them is we all do it every time over and over and over again because unfortunately we're human. And remember the emotions I was talking about before? Unfortunately, for us, we're human. Fortunately for them, we're going to do it the same way every time, so they don't need to change a whole lot. They just get better and better at doing it because they can afford these big, massive supercomputers. They put them inside the exchanges. They can operate in milliseconds and manipulate our emotions. So I started looking at this and I started thinking, well, if they're manipulating emotions, how are they taking advantage of that afterwards? And I started thinking, well, why don't I wait until people start being emotional and then see what happens after that? So I started studying what happens after these areas where these orders were going through so fast that it had to be a market manipulation. So I started studying what a crowd does when these sudden and unexpected events happen, these market manipulations. So I started looking at something like this, and I started thinking, okay, well, I know, I haven't seen a video of this, but I know these people are reacting to a sudden and unexpected event. And they have very few other concerns in their life at this point. I don't have to be thinking about what are they thinking about price right now? What are they thinking about the future of price? What combination of things are these people thinking? I don't have to think about any of that. Because right now they're not thinking about any of that. They're thinking about, oh, holy crap, I'm about to get hit in the head. I need to protect myself. There's our edge right there. And we do that in our trading. That's our edge right there. When something sudden and unexpected happens to retail traders, they do the same things all the time. And I know what people are going to do. As soon as the danger has passed, their hands are going to go down. That's the same thing I need to know about trading. What are people going to do as soon as this sudden and unexpected event happens? They're going to panic. They're either going to panic and bail out, or they're going to get excited and they're going to start getting profits. Either way, they're bailing out of the market. Well, what happens when they bail out of the market and supply overwhelms demand, or vice versa? Things change. So the market manipulators are looking for these exact reactions from typical retail traders. They know that we're all going to do something stupid. You know, a study of responses is an almost unerring guide to the technical position of the market. If you've been in trading for any time at all and you've been studying trading and reading about it and watching videos and reading forums, you've heard of Richard Wyckoff. You've also probably heard of volume spread analysis, which Wyckoff is the father of modern day volume spread analysis. He was also known as Rollo Tape. It was a pseudonym that he used when he was a publisher of a magazine called Ticker Tape back in the early 1900s. But all we need to do to get ahead of the game, to have an edge in trading, is study responses. The best responses to study are the ones that happen regularly over and over, that are created by humans, not machines. Because humans act the same way over and over again. So let's look a little bit about how smart money, manipulates us, okay? So here's a typical chart, okay? Let's look at the phases of smart money manipulation. I'm going to go through this relatively quickly. If you have questions about this, you can ask me on Saturday. So we have accumulation, we have markup, we have distribution, and we have the markdown. So what's the characteristics of accumulation? Accumulation is when the big boys are slowly and steadily and quietly buying up all of the available assets. It takes place in areas of congestion. You and I think nothing's happening. You and I think, oh, the price is dead, markets are dead, nobody's interested, nothing's happening, okay? It's going to be happening during particularly low volume. Why? Because they don't want us to know they're doing it. Now, they have all of these benefits that they're allowed by providing liquidity to the markets, right? And so they get all of these nice benefits, like being able to put their supercomputers inside the exchanges and operating it, at rates that we retail traders couldn't even possibly begin to achieve. So they have certain things that they're allowed to do that many of us think are kind of underhanded. But on the other side of that, there are also rules that they still have to follow. And they can't hide their trades. They can try to hide them best they can, and the best way for them is to do it on relatively low volume. Okay? So to us, it's going to look like they're trading in a range. So it's going to look something like this, and we see this all the time. This is when you and I are falling asleep. All right? We're sitting there and we're going, well, there's just no trading to be done. Nobody's doing anything. This is boring. I should probably find something else to do. Or, oh, I know, I'm just going to throw a trade on just to see what will happen. Usually during accumulation and distribution, that's what you're going to be doing because you're not disciplined enough to wait. Okay? So it looks like this. This is where they're buying all the available assets at the lowest price they can. Okay, now markup phase. It's going to be a series of higher highs and higher lows and higher highs. Prices are going to be rising, but still on low volume. And it's going to be rising in stages with a series of retracements and pullbacks. Okay, so the markup phase looks more like this. So we've been channeling for a while, right, during our accumulation phase, and all of a sudden price goes boink, and it pops up. You see it all the time. If you haven't seen it, you are not paying attention. Go pull up any chart and look for what I'm talking about here. And you will see it, although this illustration is simplified for you. If you look carefully enough, you're going to see it. So we have the markup phase. Basically, at this stage, they're clamping down on distribution. They're only accumulating now. They've cornered the market, and they're going to say, oh, we're not selling any. Well, what happens when there's, this is all supply and demand. When there is no supply, the demand's going to go up, right? So that price is going to go up. They manipulate that. They know exactly what's going to happen so that price goes up. They want price to go up. Why? So they can start distributing all of the assets that they bought during the accumulation phase. So it's kind of difficult for us to determine when it's happening. Distribution and accumulation are almost exactly the same. These guys are moving slowly and stealthily and quietly and on low volume, and it always finishes on an upthrust bar. So we have a distribution, looks like this, looks an awful lot like accumulation. Guess what's happening here? This is where they make all their profits. And then we have the huge markdown. Okay, supply rushes in, overwhelming demand. Price drops faster than many can offload their holdings, and bam. Price drops down to the bottom, and off we go again. All right, now, there's a lot more to this than what I'm saying here. If you want more information on this, we have done several events that are, excuse me, that are specifically directed at this information. Excuse me, hold on a second. I, along with the rest of the company, I think I've caught something. Everybody's getting the flu or a bad cold or whatever around me, so I'm pretty sure I've caught it again. So anyway, we've got these videos that we've been accumulating for years on more about this market manipulations, more on divergences. We do all kinds of videos. And if you have a specific request to understand more, remember, if you're the guy that needs to understand how the car works in order to make sure you're using the car efficiently, we have videos for you. Okay? So send an email to Connor, and he'll pull it out of the archives for you and send you the right link for whatever you're looking for. All right. Now, some of you got questions. How do I get started? All right. We've got all these different packages for you to get started with. It depends on what level you want to get started at. We have a way for you to also practice and train to get better at this much more quickly. We have what's called the Fast Forward program. So we can get you started with indicators, with training, with not just teaching you how to train, but tools to train with, so that you could gain months and months of training in just a few days. Okay, so experience is what this is all about, and we help you get that experience. We teach you how to do that. You don't have to do that during market hours. In fact, we don't recommend that you do it during market hours. Okay. How much? These are the typical questions that we get. How much should I have in a trading account to get started? There's a thing called scared money, and we don't want you to ever be trying to trade with scared money. All right. We want you to make sure that you have money set aside, enough money set aside to take it slowly and easily to learn how to do to trade our system. Okay. Let's do a quick check here. Is this okay? Everybody, everybody can still hear me, right? I've been going on and on and on, and I didn't even check to see if everybody could hear me because I'm working on a different internet connection than I typically. And yes, this is recorded, and we'll be sending that out to you shortly, probably tomorrow. Okay, good. All right, we're doing good. I hadn't looked at the chat, and I forgot to look. Praveen is in the background, and he would tell me if we had a problem, and I forgot to look to see if a problem. I'm just going on and on. I like talking about this stuff. This stuff gets me excited when I can help people with their trading, because we've been doing this for a long time, and it really works. And if it didn't, we wouldn't be here. And you may, if you've been in trading for any period of time, you probably notice there are a lot of companies that come and go that do what we're doing. They try to teach people what their trading system, and they don't really last because people can't seem to make it work. But this really works. All right. So you do not have to switch to NinjaTrader brokerage, although it is very helpful if you're using NinjaTrader. Now, everything that we develop is for NinjaTrader because it is the best platform out there. Some of this I had to learn the hard way. We developed for multi-charts, we developed for TradeStation. We stopped development on both of them because the platforms were so inferior to NinjaTrader. We just couldn't work with them any longer, and we stopped developing our charting indicators for NinjaTrader brokerage. I mean, for the other brokerages, for TradeStation and for multi-charts. Now, here's the thing. You like your brokerage and you like their fees, fine. Use their trading domes to trade, but chart with NinjaTrader. Okay? The charting is free. You don't have to pay for NinjaTrader to chart with NinjaTrader. Trade with TradeStation, trade with AMP, trade with any of the other brokers, but chart with NinjaTrader. Okay? Far superior. You don't need to buy it. It's free. Now, if you want to start trading with NinjaTrader, yes, you have to buy it. But for charting, nope, it's free. I already went through that. All of our NinjaTrader 8 indicators are available in 7 or 8, except for a few of the indicators that we had that were only for NinjaTrader 7. Some of them they were not pullback related, so we did not develop them for NinjaTrader 8, but we have new indicators to replace them in our trade room suite. And there's more information coming on that soon. So if you're transitioning from 7 to 8, no problem. We'll get you started on 7, and you can move to 8 whenever you want. If you want to run our indicators on both 7 and 8, no problem. Just let Praveen know, and he'll set you up for both of them. You only have to buy one set of indicators, and you can run them on 7 or 8. It doesn't matter. We don't care. There are different downloads for each one, though. So if you're going to trade NinjaTrader 7, you got to make sure you download the NinjaTrader 7 indicators, and vice versa. So, but you have to just let us know, and we'll send you the right stuff. This is a lifetime license, meaning you only pay once. There's no renewal. You pay once, you own it. Any upgrades throughout the year, any updates, any bug fixes, anything, you get all that for free and forever. We have our fast forward program. If you really are serious about learning and mastering this simple trade setup, if you're serious about mastering it, do the fast forward program for a couple of months. Learn how to practice trading. Most traders don't know how to practice their trading. We'll teach you how to practice your trading, and we'll give you tools to do it with. Practicing trading doesn't happen during market hours. Okay, that's game time. That's not practice time. Okay, we'll teach you when and how to practice. All right, don't forget, this Saturday, we're going to do some training, basically. I'm going to go over a few things first, and then I'm going to spend some time on our little tool that makes it, I can make it look like a trade chart. See how this obviously isn't a trade chart. And this is a little tool where I build scenarios to teach you how these trade setups work and which ones I take, which ones other people take, why they take them, why I don't take them, the importance of support and resistance, all of these things. We're going to talk about this on Saturday, okay? All right, this was the slide I meant to put up earlier. 20% off all bundles for the first 10 buyers only. If you log on and you don't get the discount, then you were number 11 or later. If that happens, send us an email. But chances are you'll just be out of luck. This goes until this Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Now, here is, let's see if I make sure I pulled that up. All right, so this is the URL to the page with the discounts. So here's that URL right here. All right, so we've got our pullback bundle package, we've got our VIP package and a starter package. This is, even though it's the most expensive, and obviously it's the most expensive, I'm going to say it's the most popular because you think that I just want to sell the most expensive one. We have hundreds of VIPs that have started down here, and they're VIPs. Okay, they upgraded to VIP. This is the best value. This is the best package. This is basically one and done. You buy everything, and then you're done. You don't have to buy anything else again, because anything that we ever develop in the future for the trade room, you get it for free. We've got the Rockstar, all the VIP people got for free. We have a new essential add-on suite that's coming out. All of our VIPs get it for free. All right, so this, you get top priority support. You get all kinds of stuff as a VIP. Now, if you're not ready, then try one of the other bundles. Okay. And here's a comparison table. If you go to that URL, you can see that, you know, what's included in each. Here's what you're saving. Here's the cost. Here's what you're saving, and the buy now buttons. This special also, if you do this, you can do the 6 months no payments with PayPal. All right. So that's it. I am now uncovering the chat. I have no idea the questions that were asked or if there's anything that I need to answer. Any questions for me? I know I'm sure I'm not sure. I don't even know. I'm hoping that Praveen and all of the other bunt traders um, were helpful if there were any questions. Are there any questions for me on this? I'm happy to answer questions. We can go into that on Saturday, Mike. The black bars, the black color in the bars. Now here's what happens. We have an indicator called the Mo meter. Momentum is extremely important. Why is momentum so important? Because momentum cannot be sustained when it comes to the markets, right? All markets will push and then pull back, and then push again and then pull back, right? So the harder the push, the more likely the pullback. So we start out with, and this is the Mo meter indicator. For the trade room and the way I use it, starts with a dark color bar, and then it gets lighter and lighter over time. Okay. If we have a light gray or white bar, man, a pullback is imminent. All right. So that's part of our Mo meter indicator. PayPal has a thing, James, for 6 months, no payments. So if you want to do one of these bundles and you want to take advantage of this offer, if you want to be one of the 10 to do this offer, when you go through the payment process, select PayPal and then select the 6 months, no payments. Well, power is a strange word for trading, but Rockstar absolutely has more confluence. Remember the discussion about temperature and making decisions based on temperature? The Rockstar has multiple indicators inside that one signal. Okay. So the lightning flash, which is called our flash indicator, which is a divergence indicator, and it's one level of divergence, RSI divergence. The Rockstar has 7 different levels of divergence. It has our overbought, oversold indicator in it. It has our speed tick indicator inside of it. It's all inside the Rockstar. Okay, so well, no, because it's not more accurate. I wouldn't say it was more accurate. It's just all inclusive because they're indicating the same thing. You can't say is it more accurate. Yes, there is, and I don't know what it is. I think it's 20 off. Also, James, Connor is not here today. Connor does all the pricing. But I think I tell you what, send Connor an email and he'll take care of you, okay? Not in the pullback bundle. The Rockstar is included in the VIP, Mohammed. Rockstar is not in the pullback bundle. But it is in the VIP. Yeah, send Connor an email with any pricing questions or purchasing questions. And the closer the closer it gets to Wednesday, the rounder his heels become. Connor works on commission. Well, not 100% commission. So he's really eager to make sales right about now because it's almost the end of the month. So contact Connor. Any other questions about bunt trading, about the Rockstar, about divergence, about volume spread analysis, about anything? I'm going to go over more details about how to trade these trade setups on Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And yes, it will be recorded. And yes, you will get a copy of the recording if you registered for this event. If you did not register, you won't get a copy. Yes, James, you can. I haven't yet. I haven't used. You're talking about using like the strategy wizard and NinjaTrader. Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but yes, you can. I think some people have. I'm just not up to speed on that. We had a lot of people buy the Rockstar when it first came out because it was discounted, and then we had a lot of the VIPs. Of course, they got it for free. So we've suddenly had a lot of people using and very excited about the Rockstar. That is correct, Jay. Use the same link to get into to Saturday. Mike, I don't have one, but I don't see any reason why you couldn't create one. Yes, Mohammed, that is a mistake. That was actually a discussion we had this morning, and it wasn't supposed to be there. I noticed it, and it was supposed to have been removed. Praveen, if you're here and paying attention, will you make sure that you take the Rockstar off of the pullback bundle? Yeah, we did, James. It's up a little higher, but it's Connor at theintentionaltrader.com. Send us an email, Mike, at support at theintentionaltrader.com. We'll help you out with that. Bob, she hasn't officially, yes, she is no longer with us. Unofficially, I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of her. She's concentrating 100% on her trading now. Well, no, she's also doing so. She's still working with us, but not on a daily basis, more on a contract basis. She's in the trade room every morning. She's still trading with us, but she wants to work more on her trading and spend less time answering emails. But she's still here. I thought I saw her here earlier when we got started today, but let me see. Not here now. Yeah, no, she's still around. Just not officially. She just she didn't want to bear some of the responsibilities I was putting on her because it was intruding on her trading. Go figure. Women. Any other questions? All right. No questions? Oh, she's around, Maria. Just log into the trade room every now and then. You'll see her. She's around, but I'll make sure that we let her know that you said so. We'll never get rid of her, even if I wanted to, which I don't. All right. So pretty good session today. I hope it was informative for a lot of you folks that are still struggling with your trading. Maybe augment your efforts by learning a very simple trade setup. Master it, get good at it, while you're working at the other setups that you're trying to work at, the things that are requiring a lot of your emotion management and things like that. Work on this simple one also at the same time, and you might just find it's the tail wagging the dog kind of thing here. It may just be the thing that you're looking for. All right, everybody. I look forward to seeing you this Saturday. If you haven't been with us in the trade room, send Connor an email and see if he's nice enough to give you a trial in the trade room. Absolutely, Mohammed works great on Forex. We even have a Forex package specifically for Forex traders. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you all very soon. Bye now.